Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is going to be the start of another writing vlog. So I have been working on drafting my historical mystery novel nicknamed Project Mayfair, and I mentioned in my previous vlog that I was giving the draft to my mother first to get her thoughts before I start looking into the beta reader process. She's given me some comments so far, which I appreciate, and I do have a few relatively minor edits I'm going to make upon her suggestion. And also this week I'm going to start doing more research into the beta reader process. How do you find beta readers? What questions should you ask them? How many do authors usually use before they submit their book? Because that's a process I don't know really anything about, so I'm looking to get some advice. I think there are definitely at least like 2 or 3 people in my real life who I think would read my book for me. Some people who have already told me they would, but I don't know like how many beta readers is the right amount. Like, if I don't have enough people in my real life who will do it, how do I go find trustworthy people to read my draft for me? So that's something I don't know a lot about, and I need to do some research. So that's really what's going on at this point in time. Another thing that I wanted to discuss in my last writing vlog, and then I just didn't have the time, is I did edit the climax confrontation scene of my mystery because I was worried it was a bit melodramatic. So this is the scene, where the hero finds out who is behind all of these dastardly crimes, and things look dire for a second, but, obviously he's gonna get out of it somehow. It's that moment that you've probably read or seen in so many works of fiction before. And when I reread that scene while working on draft 2, I was worried it was a bit too melodramatic, verging on a little cheesy at points, and I figured I would say what I did to make that scene better, just in case that advice is helpful to anyone else. So like I said, this is as they refer to it in the Save the Cat with a Blake Snyder beat sheet, the dark night of the soul moment. The moment where the hero thinks that all is lost, they haven't succeeded, their life is in danger, and then they're going to end up coming out of it at the end. And so naturally, my hero in that moment was thinking a lot about his own mortality, which makes sense. He's in a moment where he literally might be about to die. So it makes sense that he would be thinking about death and musing on what's going to happen to him, the afterlife, the things that he still has to live for. Because if you were about to die, you would think about all those things. You would be afraid. But what I realized when I was examining the scene is I felt like because we were in his head for so much of the scene, that was what was making it come across as melodramatic. So what I did to rectify that was I still kept some of that thought process. Because like I said, it makes sense. It's natural that if you're in a dangerous situation, you're going to be thinking about those things. However, I prevented it from being a very long internal monologue and added more movement to the scene and more action, because I think that took it away from melodrama and more to natural heightened tension. But so that's basically just what I did to make it less melodramatic. I kept some of those thoughts, but I did not keep like an extended internal monologue inside our hero's head where he's debating, the afterlife and what's going to happen to him if he dies, because it was just being a little bit too much, and sometimes less is more with that sort of thing. I think just keeping the plot moving, keeping the characters moving, instead of having them be stationary and just doing a lot of thinking, was what helped make the scene less melodramatic. I don't know if that's good advice, if that helps anybody, but I just thought I would share my thought process in case it's helpful to anyone. So that is the intro for this vlog, and I will talk to you throughout the week as I work on making these edits that have been suggested, and also learning more about the beta reader process and what my next steps should be. So that's it for now. Talk to you later.
Excuse me as I sit here at my desk eating my my fruit for lunch, but just to give an update, I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos about the beta reader process, and they have really been helping me. I'm getting very excited to have beta readers now. There is a video series. It's a 3-year-old video series, so maybe you've seen it already, from author Brittany Wang, where she goes into incredible detail about her beta reader process, and it has been so helpful. I will link that in the description in case you want to go watch it. Again, they're old videos, so maybe everyone has seen them already, but they have helped me tremendously. One thing that I didn't know is I didn't know what the typical number of beta readers is, and in the videos that I've watched so far, I've seen a variety of responses. The first video I watched, the person said that they use at least 20 beta readers, which was so much more than I was anticipating. But then I watched more videos. One person said that they use as few as 5, and other people said they use about like 12, 10, 12, 15, just in case a few people drop out during the process. And that feels like that makes sense to me. So I think I'm going to aim to have like 10 to 15 beta readers. And that way, if there are people who drop out in the process or, you know, kind of ghost me or whatever, I'll still have a decent amount of responses without it becoming overwhelming. I mean, if I had 20 beta readers all at once, that would be a lot. That would be a lot of feedback to go through. Sorry if the angle changed. I had to use my phone for a second. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on a survey for people interested in being a beta reader to fill out. And then, depending on how many responses I get, I will then choose my beta readers. I'm going to do a little more research about the best ways to get beta readers. However, it seems like most people just say anyone can be a beta reader as long as they enjoy reading. They can be a beta reader for your book. So you can just post it on your blog or your social media account. So what I might do is post it on my community tab. So if any of you are interested in being a beta reader, you can fill out the survey. And then I will also share it on Tumblr. So my followers or people in the writing community who are interested can volunteer, and then maybe I'll share it some other places if I need more responses. I'm also obviously going to ask people in my writing group if they want to be beta readers, and they will get first dibs, obviously, because they are fellow writers and people I actually know. So I definitely want to let them be beta readers if that's something they're interested in. I also want to say I am opening this process up to you. I would love to have you as a beta reader if that's something you're interested in and I think you would be a good fit. But do not feel pressured to be a beta reader if you don't want to or you just don't think you have the time. Right now, tentatively, I'm thinking I would like to get the first chapters out to my beta readers at the beginning of May because that'll be when I'm back from my vacation. I don't want to start it before my vacation because obviously when I am abroad, I'm not going to have a lot of time to check my email or respond to questions and things like that. So I think I'm going to start the beta reader process hopefully around the beginning of May and then have that process last about 4 to 6 weeks. So like, listen, if you have stuff going on in May and you can't be a beta reader, that's fine. Do not feel like you're letting me down in any way if you can't be a beta reader. Like, my beta readers will be doing me a service. They will be reading this and providing feedback for free. So like, don't feel bad if you can't do it or you just don't want to. It's fine. I want genuinely interested beta readers who have the time to do me this favor. But anyways, yeah, now I'm getting kind of hyped for this. Like, I'm really excited to take this next step. I think it's going to be really fun, and I hope people will be interested in becoming beta readers for me, and hopefully they will like the manuscript and also provide good feedback. Like, even if there are things they don't like about it, I still need to hear that. Like, that is valuable feedback. And really, I just want honest praise and also honest criticism.
Hello everyone, so it's Saturday and I'm going to head out of the house soon. I have an eyebrow appointment today, a nail appointment, and we're also taking a drive because a family friend of ours is out of town and we need to feed their cats. But to give you a quick update, I'm now not entirely sure about what I'm going to do for this beta reader process. I went to writing class on Thursday night and 2 more people at class asked me about how my book was coming and said, well, if you need someone to read it, I would love to read it. So that's 4 people in class who have volunteered to read my book for me, and that's really great. I also, though, still want to find some people online who actually have experience reading this genre, who are fans of this genre. The people from my writing class provide a valuable perspective in the fact that they also are writers, but the people who are volunteering to read my book, I don't think they really read historical mysteries, so I still want to get people online who do read those things, even if they're maybe not writers. So like I said, I was aiming for maybe around 12 beta readers. Should I include the 4 people from my writing class in that initial group of 12? Or should I find 12 people online, make the edits they suggest, and then ask the 4 people from writing class to reread my manuscript after that, and maybe they can help me with more so like line edits and stuff. I don't really know. I'm not sure what to do. I am definitely very excited to put out this beta reader survey. I am getting kind of hyped for it, honestly, and I'm hoping that people will want to beta read for me. I guess this dilemma could be moot if, say, I don't get that many responses to the survey. Like, let's say only 4 people fill it out. In that case, might as well also get the 4 people from writing class and have 8 beta readers. So we'll just see. I think I'm going to put the survey out first, see how many people bite, and then decide if I want to have multiple rounds of beta readers after that. Like, let's just see how it goes. One thing that I've seen several people suggest in their YouTube videos on beta readers is to have your beta readers comment in Google Docs. And this, to me, sounds so fun. So before I started researching the beta reader process, I just assumed, okay, I'll send each person individually my entire manuscript in a Word document for them to comment on, and I'll send them the questions, and then I'll go through each response to see what they said. But what a lot of people brought up is if you do it in Google Docs, you can have everyone's commentary in one place. So that not only makes it easier to organize feedback, but then they can also interact with each other's comments. And that to me sounds so fun. Doesn't that sound fun to you? Like being able to have this collaborative reading experience with all these other people? I feel like that makes it more so like a beta reading family, if you will, than just everybody doing their own separate thing. So now I'm thinking I'm gonna make 3 Google Docs, break my book down into 3 acts, and then have a survey for the beta readers to complete after each act. I'm gonna create the surveys in whatever the Google survey feature is called. I don't remember the name of it, because Google then automatically creates a spreadsheet with all the responses, so it'll be more organized. Okay, I gotta run, but we can finish this discussion later. Hello, so it is nighttime and I'm here to finish my thought from earlier. So basically, I do really love this idea of using Google Docs for the beta readers, and I'm going to work on creating surveys for each of the 3 sections. I did see some people aren't as in favor of Google Docs because if multiple beta readers are leaving comments in the same document, can they influence each other? And that is a valid concern. One, I will stress in my email to the beta readers not to let what other people say influence their results
to the surveys, to just say whatever you really feel. There's no wrong answer. And two, yes, my book is a mystery, and so it does rely on the element of surprise. But when you think about it, in real life, when you read a book, you're not reading it in a vacuum. Maybe you're in a book club and you and the people in book club are going to talk about what you think is going to happen. Maybe you're buddy reading it with someone. Maybe, like you're going to bounce off ideas off other people. It's not like when you read a book in real life, there's no outside influence. If the book actually gets published, people reading it will discuss it with other people or read reviews for it and things like that. So I don't think that's necessarily a huge problem. It is just true to life. And I can't ask them not to like message each other, talk about it, just to limit the discussion to the Google Docs. But I do think the benefits of using that format, in my opinion, seem like they'll outweigh those potential negatives. I think it'll be a very organized method, and I can lock the document so that the beta readers can just comment and they can't edit the text in any way. So all in all, I like this idea and I'm getting really excited for it, thinking about, just being able to read people's comments and see what they think. It's very exciting. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention is, so in a previous vlog, I believe I mentioned that I was worried the book had too many coincidences in it, and I acknowledged that a lot of mysteries have coincidence, so I don't think it was the end of the world by any means, but it was bothering me a little bit. And I thought of an idea to change the story and get rid of those coincidences, basically changing the pre-existing relationships between some of the characters. And so I think now I want to do that. I think it's a good idea. I think it eliminates that concern that I had. I bounced it off my mother and she thinks it's a great idea. So I think I'm going to do that, but that means before I can have people beta read this, I need to go back and edit a whole bunch of stuff now to change the pre-existing relationship between some of the characters in the book, which is fine. I can manage it, and I think I'll feel happier with the book as a result. This is just not what I was originally planning. I thought that I would have relatively minor edits to make before a potential beta read, but that's okay. So I guess now I'm kind of like starting draft 4 of the book. I'll say that this is draft 4 now that I'm making these revisions. I don't know, maybe my definition of 4 drafts is actually somebody else's definition of 6 or 7 drafts, because I know from draft 1 to draft 2, in draft 2, I not only made major plot changes from draft 1, but I also made a lot of line edits and deleted a lot of words. And I think other writers, they would write draft 1. And then they would make the plot changes in draft 2. And then in draft 3, they would make the line edits. In draft 4, they would delete the words. So my exact number of drafts depends on your individual definition. I mean, I have done a lot of work in 4 drafts, so I'm hoping maybe like draft 5 will be the one, or 6. I'm thinking after these edits, I don't know if we're really going to need any more major plot changes. I think I'll have to see what the beta readers say, but I can't think of anything that I would want to change at that point. And so I'm hoping that after the beta readers, it will be smaller edits, maybe clarifying some things, and then maybe I can get some help with line edits and stuff. So hopefully soon, in the coming months, I'll be ready to potentially query, because that's something that's really important to me and I want to do it in the near future. So I think that's everything that I wanted to say, and with that I will wish you a good night. Talk to you later. Hello everyone, so I am finished with my beta reader survey and I thought I would share it with you just so you can see what I'm looking for and why I asked the questions that I did. Most of the questions on the survey were inspired by
those videos by author Brittany Wang that I mentioned earlier. She did share all the questions she asked people in her beta reader survey, so I did copy a lot of her suggestions.
This is the survey that I came up with. First, name. Simple enough. I just need to know how to address people. It could be a nickname too if you don't want to give your like actual legal name. However, my beta readers, if I do get published, I will thank them in the acknowledgments. So put a name that you're okay me potentially using in my potential acknowledgments. Then I also have age and gender identity. This is just to see if different demographics respond differently. It will not impact whether anyone is chosen. Obviously, an email where I can contact the person. Then I ask, have you been a beta reader before? And it is totally okay if people have not been a beta reader before, but I need them to say if they feel like they can give constructive feedback, because I don't want people who are just going to say, I liked it, or this part sucked. I need people who can say, this is what I thought and this is why I felt that way. That's really what I'm looking for. Then, why would you like to be my beta reader? What about my story interested you? I want these people to be actually invested in beta reading for me. So that is a very important question. Then I also asked if they read historical mysteries, since that is the genre that I am writing, because I do think it is important to get feedback from people who like this sort of book, people who might actually buy my book if they saw it in the bookstore. Then I also asked them to name some of their favorite books or authors in this genre. Oh, then I also asked, are there any tropes, topics, etc. that turn you off a book? You could also put trigger warnings here, things like that. This is to decide if this person is the ideal fit for my book. Because, for example, if they put here, I hate when books do X, and my book does X, then I know they're not going to like it, and I probably don't want them as a beta reader. Then finally, I'm asking them, are they okay with this schedule that I have planned? Yes or no. Obviously, I need people who can work with this timetable I have in mind. And then at the end, I just put, do you have any other questions for me? Anything that I can clear up? And that is it.
So I'm going to post this survey on my community tab the same day that this video is scheduled to go live. So if you're interested in applying to be one of my beta readers, do fill out the survey. I'm hoping to have 10 to 12 beta readers, knowing that some people might drop out and not be able to do it. I think that number has me covered even if some people drop out. Originally, I was thinking I would give the beta readers 4 to 6 weeks to read all of the chapters. However, I think I am now going to lower that to 3 weeks. Like I said, I am dividing the book into 3 sections for the beta readers. And even the longest section, you could read that section in 7 days if you read 20 pages a day, which is not that much. Yes, you do have to fill out the survey as well, but I think 15 to 20 pages a day is doable for most people. And if you're here, obviously you love reading and that's something that you do a lot. Also, I'm giving them 3 weeks and I would like them to be done in 3 weeks. But if people need like an extra week and it's more like 4, that is okay with me. I was just worried if I give them 6 weeks to read the entire book, like that's really gonna, that's going to set back my schedule, because obviously I can't start implementing the beta reader feedback until everyone is done. I'm hoping that everyone will be able to get it done in 3 weeks, but if people need a little extra time, obviously that's okay. So I'm hoping that I can send the first section out to my beta readers in the beginning of May, and then I will have all of the feedback by the beginning of June. We'll see. I do have to go back and make edits, like I said, because I've decided to give some of the characters a pre-existing relationship they did not have before.
But I think if I just put the pedal to the metal and I really commit, I can still have everything ready for the beta readers by the beginning of May, crossing my fingers, because I really do want to be able to get this book edited and then hopefully query it by like August. Is that possible? I don't know. Fingers crossed. I would really love that. So that is it for this vlog. Please go fill out that beta reader survey if you are interested. If you don't want to be my beta reader, like, no worries. I will not be offended if you don't fill it out. Only fill out the survey if you genuinely want to be a beta reader and you think this is something that can work with your schedule. No matter what, thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a memorable rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.